And due to circumstances beyond our control, we're back on this Monday, the 18th day of October, 2021. I'm Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Down the road we go for another week. Thanks for starting your day with us. Got a lot to touch on today. Busy day in the newsroom. Sports, yeah, I got that. Seahawks. Huskies. Cougars. Only they might not have a coach. We will get to all of that. When we get to sports, the obscure holiday today in history, some celebrity birthdays will be coming your way. Mike Mad Dog McNaughty has an opinion, and we're going to profile another Make a Difference Day project. Had a chance on Friday to visit our good friend Jason Browning, the director of Ohme Gardens. Friday was their last day of the season, and now this Saturday, the 23rd, for Make a Difference Day, they need your help up at Ohme Gardens. They got to get rid of a couple of trees, well, more than a couple of trees that didn't do too well in the June and July heat. And they got to be 86. They got to get out of there, and they need big, strong, strapping people to help them haul some trees out of there. So if you haven't picked a project yet for Make a Difference Day, Jason would love to see you up at Ohme Gardens this weekend. He'll give you those details when we get to the back half of the program. Significant weather this week. We're going to be all over the place. Today and tomorrow, beautiful. Bit of a change on Wednesday, and then rain with a little bit of a break on Thursday, but we're going to have wet conditions Wednesday, not so much Thursday, rain Friday, rain Saturday. There's a whole parade of weather systems that are parked right out the Pacific Ocean, and they're going to start paying us a visit starting Tuesday night and really lasting, they say, for the next 7 to 10 days. We're going to be in for some unsettled weather once we get to Wednesday. Details are coming up. 45 degrees outside of our studios, 2 minutes after the hour. Let's start our tour around north central Washington. We are still not to sunrise yet. It's getting later and later, 7:24. Sunrise this morning, sunset tonight, 6:07. 10 hours and 43 minutes of daylight, if my math is correct. On Saturday, we topped off at 62, just a little bit above normal. Sunday, 64. Our normal high this time of the year is about 59 or 60, so we did have some mild temperatures over the weekend. It's going to be very mild today. We'll be pushing 70 for our afternoon high today. Not quite as warm on Tuesday, and then as we mentioned before, we're going to be in for a very wet period of weather starting Tuesday night into Wednesday. Again, complete forecast details are coming up. Good morning to the Valley from our cross camera. Camera number 2. Billy Goat checks in with a beautiful sunrise there. Gorgeous view up in the Okanagan area. Alta Lake in the lower right-hand corner. Can't quite make out the golf course, of course. You can see Pateros, the Mudhow River. You can make out Brewster. Can't see Bridgeport. It's tucked behind the ridge there. Gamble Sands Golf Course. I didn't play it this year. Maybe it's not too late. Maybe I can cruise up to Brewster and play Gamble Sands this afternoon before it gets too cold and too wet to play golf. Good morning to our friends in Okanagan County. Camera number 3. Ooh, that looks to be the Waterville camera. We're looking at, I think that is Waterville, that little twinkly, blinkly little thing that you see there in the center left of your screen, I believe is the hamlet of Waterville. High above in the waving wheat, which can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. And camera number 4. McNeil Canyon. Again, a little reminder that that is letting in more light than there's actually out there. That's how these cameras operate. They try to let in as much light as possible so we can see as many things as possible. And what we can see is Lake Chelan from the very top of McNeil Canyon. The Chelan Butte is to your left. Lake Chelan hanging in there. You can see the airport. Beautiful view there from the very tip top of McNeil Canyon as we begin our Monday festivities. Okay, we do have a slide from the National Weather Service. Today and tomorrow, beautiful, gorgeous. Things start changing. However, on Tuesday, we're going to go from sunny and warm to wet and cool. It's going to be a very dramatic change. We're going to be high and dry today, high and dry on Tuesday with kind of a mix of sun and clouds. Light rain possible Wednesday, and then we get we catch a little bit of a break on Thursday, maybe some light rain on Thursday, and then really starting Thursday night into Friday, widespread rain for everybody. The snow level is going to be just about 4,300 feet for the Cascades. So the very toppermost of the passes could get a little bit of light snow. So very unsettled weather. It really starts Wednesday. Bit of a break on Thursday. Basically, there's one system after the other that's taking dead aim at the Pacific Northwest. So without further ado, from the National Weather Service, here's what we're looking at. 67 our high today. Just beautiful day. Lots of sunshine, gorgeous. Hope you have the day off. A lot of people do. Get out and enjoy whatever it is you want to enjoy because this is going to change. 42 for the overnight low tonight. Do it again on Tuesday. A couple of passing clouds, again above normal. 62 for our high tomorrow. Tuesday night, here come the clouds. And you're going to wake up Wednesday with some rain. There's a good chance of rain, especially Wednesday morning as the first of these storms begin to pay us a visit. A 70% chance of rain, most of it on Wednesday before the noon hour. We should be dry Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night. Thursday, slight chance of rain in the afternoon. This is the day we catch a break from all of these systems with a warm back up to 63. And then here we go again. Thursday night, overnight rain into Friday morning, and then rain till about noon on Friday. And then Friday night, the chance of rain goes down. So we're doing the Kashmir OMAC football game on Friday night in Kashmir. Hopefully our crew will stay dry. Right now, Friday night, it's a 30% chance of rain. Rain Saturday pretty much all day. Rain Saturday night. Rain on Sunday. Here comes the wet stuff. We need the rain. We need it, and we're going to get it. Again, rain Wednesday night, a little bit of a break on Thursday, rain Thursday night, and then intermittent rain Friday morning, and then pretty much overnight Friday all the way through Sunday. And again, they tell us, the National Weather Service, that this weather pattern could actually last for a good 7 or 8 days once we start Wednesday. So be forewarned, we are going to be in for some cool, wet, breezy conditions starting Wednesday for the most part. All right, that's your forecast. It's 7 minutes after the hour, a 1-minute break, and then we come right back with your news on this Monday morning. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Kids are resilient. I just love their energy. They bounce back so quickly. I love the stories they tell. I love just their charisma, their character. I love to see that subtle smile that you pull out of a kid, you know, when you start talking with them about something they really like. I just love what I do, and I can't imagine I would be as happy doing anything else.
KRISTALLS Restaurant and Lounge in Leavenworth has a warm environment to enhance your dining experience. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. KRISTALLS Intimate Lounge is a wonderful place to relax and dine with beautiful views of the mountains. Do you have a special occasion coming up? Call KRISTALLS to reserve their event space. Whether your event is grand, intimate, or casual, KRISTALLS provides unforgettable food and superb service. KRISTALLS Restaurant and Lounge, proud to be serving fabulous food and drinks. Outside of a few high clouds, not too bad this morning, 46 degrees, upper 60s with bountiful sunshine today. Lots of sunshine, a little bit cooler on Tuesday. Tuesday night, here comes the rain, and outside of a little bit of a break on Thursday afternoon with a mixture of clouds and sun, we're in for a very wet weather pattern starting late tomorrow night and lasting all the way through the weekend. We begin with this rather interesting story out of Royal City where the police say somebody posing as a construction worker walked right onto the work site at Royal High School on Thursday afternoon and walked right out with $3,500 worth of DeWalt tools. The Royal City Police Department said the suspect blended in with the rest of the construction crew right there in broad daylight. He wore clothes apparently similar to what the actual crew was wearing. Police say much of what was taken were personal tools belonging to the workers. The suspect was reportedly seen driving away in a Ford Super Duty pickup with K&M construction decals on the doors and tailgate, but police say they haven't been able to actually locate a company called K&M Construction. The high school is being renovated as part of a district-wide $16.5 million bond issue that was approved by voters in 2019. A two-vehicle accident on Friday night 4 miles south of Quincy sent one man to the hospital, and that man also faces possible charges of driving under the influence. According to the Washington State Patrol, 25-year-old Jesus R. Paz Batista of George was driving a 1997 Honda Accord northbound on State Route 281 shortly before 11 o'clock. Again, this was Friday night, when his car crossed the center line and struck a southbound Freightliner trailer being towed by a semi-truck. The Accord rolled and came to rest on its top. Paz Batista was transported to Quincy Valley Hospital with unknown injuries. By the way, the driver of the semi, 67-year-old Larry D. Davis of Beverly, was not injured. The Wenatchee School District has struck an agreement with Wenatchee Police Department to host 2 school resource officers. They'll be working primarily in their middle school and high school buildings. East Wenatchee Police entered a similar agreement with the Eastmont schools back in September. The Wenatchee City Council approved the $151,000 contract at their meeting Thursday night.
In this agreement, the school district agrees to pay half of the 2 officers' salary. That dollar value is around $151,000, $335,000. The city covers all the other costs that are associated with officer certification, such as firearms training, defensive tactics, and things like that. However, the school district agreed to pay half of the training requirements associated with them being certified as school resource officers. So we're excited to continue our agreement with the Wenatchee School District.
Starting in less than a month, Washingtonians attending large public gatherings will have to present proof of COVID-19 vaccinations or have a recent negative test for the coronavirus. The restriction was announced by Governor Jay Inslee on Thursday, and it applies to indoor events of 1,000 or more people or outdoor gatherings of 10,000 or more people. The governor says it's just one more motivator for people to get their shots.
So this is yet another step in an ongoing battle with this disease. We believe it is a very important one. It can help incentivize people to decide to get vaccinated and avoid the headache of having to get a test. We believe it will be yet another effective of the measures that we have taken that have shown effect during this disease. And I think it is important to note the things we have done have benefited people and saved thousands of lives. Our state continues to have one of the lower death rates in the United States. We want to improve that situation, and we will continue to take these steps in this direction.
Department of Fish and Wildlife biologists on the upper Wenatchee River, they're using a new tool to track salmon populations. Aerial drones are now flying over the Wenatchee River to watch as Chinook salmon conduct their seasonal spawning ritual. NCW Live's Jefferson Robbins spent some time last week talking to the leaders of this project.
I'm gonna go.
Aircraft heading to the
So I'm Daniel Auerbach, and I'm a graduate student at Washington State, and we're working with conjunction with Department of Fish and Wildlife here in Wenatchee. Habitat drones have been used for kind of a while, but in terms of like counting reds and counting fish and stuff like that, it hasn't been going on for too long. So we're kind of at the forefront of fisheries and drones.
Drones have been used to monitor a lot of terrestrial species, and are more and more becoming, biologists are becoming interested in using it for aquatic species. And so there's a lot of interest in how we can do that. And the first objective is to just get the methodology and the technology worked out for the drones to see what would be most effective for counting salmon reds in the rivers.
I've set up grids at the different sites that we fly. And we've set in parameters like height and then photo overlap. And then essentially I let it go do its thing. And then when I get back, I take those images, anywhere from 300 to about 700 images, and we stitch them together. And then from those images is where we count the features that we're looking for.
We really just want to assess, get the most accurate count of salmon reds in the river that we are able to get. For summer Chinook, they're a kind of unique species in that sometimes they spawn in really high densities. And so there's something called superimposition that happens. In these areas of high density spawning, individuals will spawn on top of each other's reds, which in the field can be very difficult to determine. But if we have the ability to look at images of last week's survey versus this week's survey versus next week's survey, we'll be able to better quantify those superimposition events.
From the air, what we're looking for is really a change in color from the surrounding substrate. So it'll be pretty dark, and then you'll see this big light spot where the fish has been digging. And then we also look for presence of fish and other features like trenching, where they'll dig out a certain area or a pit, and that's how we can identify the reds.
When we traditionally do these surveys, we're on a raft. Under good conditions, you can see most of the way across the river, but it's generally just a few meters on either side of your raft. And so having that perspective from the air and being able to see a giant swath of the river has been pretty cool. And I'm pretty optimistic for what we're going to be able to find with this drone study.
Thank you for that report, Jefferson. And that's what's making headlines at 16 minutes after the hour. The news. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of news at 5, 6, and 10. Eric at the sports desk. Grant with your weather forecast. He's also the anchor. And with the preview, here is the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good Monday morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News. After some clouds yesterday, expect lots of sun today and for Tuesday. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom will be here with a look back at a busy weekend in high school sports, as well as reaction to last night's Seahawks-Steelers game. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. Yeah, you can watch the news on television, or as we like to say in the business, TV, or you can watch it on our YouTube page, via our Facebook page. We also have links to watch the news on our homepage, so you're not locked into those times, 5, 6, and 10. You can watch it at your own volition when you're ready to watch the news and keep yourself informed around North Central Washington. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a news tip, get a hold of us. news@ncwlife.com is our email address, news@ncwlife.com. You can use our Facebook page, use the Messenger app, or you can go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, and click on the Contact Us icon. After a quick break, we got highlights from Atlanta and L.A. Just like last year, the Braves are up 2-0 in the National League Championship Series, and they did it in walk-off fashion. Plus, we'll talk about Seahawks, Preps, Kraken, Wild, and everything else that you need. The ever-widening world of sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
I guess we'll just go right in with sports. For the second straight game, Atlanta walked off over the Dodgers. They now have a 2-0 lead in the National League Championship Series. 2 nights ago, Austin Riley was the hero. He had the walk-off base hit. Last night, Eddie Rosario had his turn to do it. 2 on, bottom of the ninth, pitching for the Dodgers, Kenley Jansen.
Eddie Rosario, 3 hits tonight against Kenley Jansen. And first ball swinging. Oh, and it gets through. And here comes the winning run. Swanson scores, and the Braves win again in their final at-bat.
Now, of course, last year the Braves took a 2-0 lead in the National League Championship Series. They eventually were up 3-1 before the Dodgers came back, won the series, and won the championship. So we'll see if the Dodgers regroup. They'll be at Dodger Stadium tomorrow night. Game 3 of the American League Championship Series tonight. Fenway Park, Boston, FS1. That is tied at a game apiece. Seahawks fought back valiantly in the second half. But they fell in overtime, as you probably know by now. Pittsburgh won on a winning field goal in OT 23-20. In Seattle's second possession of overtime, TJ Watt stripped Geno Smith of the ball. The Steelers recovered at the 16-yard line. Chris Boswell nailed the 37-yard field goal. A couple of plays later, Smith, after the game, said he was pretty sick about the fumble.
That last drive, man, that's all I was thinking, man. Just take us down there and score somehow, some way. And, man, we can't keep coming up short. I can't keep coming up short, I put that on myself. Back-to-back weeks, our defense gives us a chance to go out there and score, give me the ball, and, we don't get it done. And so, that's solely on me, and I vow to be better.
Despite the loss, Coach Pete Carroll was proud of the way his team came back after falling behind 14-0 at the half.
God dang, I'm proud of these guys. Jeez, I'm so proud to see that happen and see them fight like that and turn the game and the guys up front, the offensive line, to play like they did in the second half, come through and keep knocking line of scrimmage like they did, give our running backs a chance to go. Alex's effort was phenomenal. DJ Dallas played excellent football for us. Homer was hobbling, and he almost broke one to win it. So there was just a lot of great plays and a lot of great effort in this game. But good job by their guys. They hung tough and got the play they needed at the end.
For the Seahawks, next up, Nolens. The Saints will be in town at Lumen Field for Monday Night Football 1 week from tonight. To the Les Schwab College football scoreboard. On Saturday, Max Borghi scored on a 2-yard touchdown run with $1:30 left in the game. That gave the Cougars a comeback win over Stanford on Saturday, 34-31, and what could be Coach Nick Rolovich's last game. He is the only coach in the Pac-12 to refuse to get the COVID-19 vaccination, and today is the deadline in the state of Washington for state employees to get the vaccination. Rolovich has applied for a religious exemption, but he has not heard his status as of this morning. Washington quarterback Dylan Morris was intercepted at the UCLA 4-yard line with under 5 minutes left, and the Bruins hold on to beat the Huskies 24-17. Eastern Washington quarterback Eric Barriere threw for 600 yards and 7 touchdowns. The Screaming Eagles over Idaho 71-21. By the way, Barriere also ran for another score. He had 8 touchdowns on the day. The Seattle Kraken lost a heartbreaker Saturday to Columbus 2-1 in overtime. Brandon Tanev scored the lone goal for the Kraken. The Kraken will try to get back into the win column today. 4 o'clock, they'll be at Philadelphia to take on the Flyers. You can watch that on Root Sports. The Wenatchee Wild also went into overtime. They came up short Saturday in Trail. The Smoke Eaters scored the game winner 3 minutes into overtime to pull out the 6-5 victory. Cade Littler, Hunter Hastings, Garrett Sislowski, Landon Parker all found the back of the net for Wenatchee in the loss. The Wild next head to the BCHL Showcase in Chilliwack. They'll take on Prince George on Wednesday. To the Les Schwab Prep Girls Soccer scoreboard from the weekend. Okanagan shut out Toledo on Friday 4-0. Eastmont demolished Sunnyside 9-0 on Saturday. Moses Lake topped Davis 7-2. Chelan blanked Walook. Othello quieted Quincy. And the game that we televised here on the NCAA Life Channel on Saturday afternoon, West Valley kept pace with Eastmont by knocking off the Wenatchee Panthers at Leibofta Field at the Apple Bowl 3-1. Sebastian Moraga and John Springer had the call here.
That never happens when you're an adult. When you're an adult, you're focused all the time. There's a shot and a goal for West Valley Yakima, number 11. The West Valley was always known. Shot across. This could be interesting. The shot. Oh my goodness! Go! 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 It bounced off the framework, and then, about 5 yards out, number 12 for Wenatchee, Miss Hegem sinks it in and ties this up. Stopped by Bowles. Oh, a bit of trouble there. This could be interesting. Oh, what a save! Open net! And Yakima, West Valley Yakima takes the lead. The through ball for Kurtz. A bit of trouble. Still trying to sink it in, and that should do it. There's Stegman with a corner kick. The header, and it almost kisses the upright, and there's the whistle. That signals the end of this contest with a 3-1 victory for West Valley Yakima over the Wenatchee Panthers.
So that was soccer. Let's talk volleyball. Again, to the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard we go from Saturday. Chelan edged Ephrata 3-2. Manson handed Okanagan its first loss of the season, 3-0. And Cascade traveled to Granite Falls and won in straight sets. Let's go back to Friday. High school football from around the region. Eastmont easily won its non-leaguer, 41-0 over Hanford. Moses Lake stunned Sunnyside to take over sole possession of first place in the Big Nine. 23-22, and Davis edged Ike 34-28. Here on the NCAA Life Channel on Friday night, West Valley opened a close game in the second half and ran away with it on Wenatchee Panthers homecoming. The final was 28-7. Grant Olson and Eric Kuntz had the call here on the NCAA Life Channel.
Only a junior, too. He'll be back next year. Here we go. 3rd down and 11 now. Passes over the middle to a wide-open Trammell up the center of the field inside the 5. Fights his way to the goal line. And a touchdown for West Valley. Shotgun. Here's Castle. He's rolling to his left, looking that way into the end zone. Caught, and it is a touchdown. West Valley, 15-yarder. Devereaux shotgun. He's got St. John and McGuire back there with him. He's got plenty of time to throw. This time a receiver's in the end zone open. Who's got it? They're going to fight for it, and that should go to the offense.
Touchdown.
It is. Touchdown, Panthers. Johnson split out left of Castle all by himself. Castle's looking right all the way. Gets it in there, and that's a touchdown. 2nd and 10. Castle rolls, throws it into the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. Receiver Ben Trammell, as West Valley spoils the Panther homecoming. Our final, West Valley 28 and the Wenatchee Panthers 7.
To the Les Schwab scoreboard we go. First of all, Caribou Trail League. Congratulations to Cascade. The Kodiaks win the Pear Bowl. They knocked off Cashmere 24-19. Omak downs Quincy 28-14. Chelan didn't play. And in the B's on Friday, Brewster bopped Manson 51-8. Bridgeport saddled Pateris 40-14. Liberty Bell rings Aniat 47-18. Waterville, Mansfield celebrated homecoming with a big win over Soap Lake 74-20. Okanagan takes a forfeit win over Orville, and Lake Roosevelt over Tenasket 41-16. Now those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Monday, the 18th day of October. Happy National Chocolate Cupcake Day today. Cupcakes are an American invention, and they're easy to make. You just, whatever your cake mixture is, instead of baking a big cake, you make a whole bunch of little cakes. And nothing beats a chocolate cupcake with a little icing, a little frosting, a little sprinkles. Cupcakes, by the way, are known as fairy cakes in Britain. In Australia, they're known as patty cakes. Just thought I'd throw that out there. I have nothing else to say except now I want a national chocolate cupcake. I want a cupcake. I want a chocolate cupcake right now. I'm all for it. Bring it on. I'll get my own. Go to some cupcake place. I try to avoid the food-related obscure holidays, but sometimes I just can't. Today in history, 170 years ago today, the book was originally called simply The Whale. It was eventually changed to Moby Dick, the great novel, perhaps the greatest novel ever written. Moby Dick by Herman Melville is first published in London. Known simply as The Whale. I've read Moby Dick, read it a couple of times. It's a good book. No question about that. A lot of metaphors and analogies you got to work your way through, but it's well worth it. If you've never read Moby Dick, read it. You'll be glad you did. It was first published on this date in 1851. The critics hated it. The critics have since revised their opinion. Today is Alaska Day in Alaska because the check cleared the bank, and that's the actual check. That's the actual check that we wrote to Russia. Here you go, $7.2 million. Secretary of Treasury will sign the check. That way it'll clear the bank. The United States formally took possession of the Alaska Territory after buying it from Russia for $7.2 million, one of the great real estate deals of all time. It was called Seward's Folly because the Secretary of State negotiated it with Russia. People said, "Yep, we bought what? What are we going to do with that?" Well, smart move. Russia. We don't need Alaska anymore. Oops. 154 years ago today. October 18th, 1977. Oh, I remember this Tuesday night. It was a Tuesday night. I even remember the day of the week. Reggie Jackson becomes Mr. October. He was already Mr. October, but he became a baseball legend after, well, we'll show you what happened. He walked in the first inning in the bottom of the fourth facing Bert Hooton. Reggie jacks it in, if you pardon the expression, into the third deck at the original Yankee Stadium for home run number 1 over Bert Hooton. A good start to Reggie. There it is again. Crank, gone. By the way, Reggie had hit a home run in the last at-bat of the fifth game, so he actually has now hit 2 home runs in 2 consecutive at-bats. In the 5th inning, facing Elias Sosa, Reggie, rip, gone, home run number 2 for Reginald Martinez Jackson. Yeah, he's well on his way to becoming the most valuable player of the 1977 World Series. So that's 2 pitches, 2 home runs. These were the first pitches thrown by Bert Hooton and Elias Sosa. And now, to the bottom of the 8th, the very first pitch, Charlie Howe on the mound for the Dodgers. Reggie Jackson comes to bat.
Reggie Jackson has seen 2 pitches in the strike zone tonight, 2, and he's hit them both in the seat.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, what a blow. What a way to top it off. Forget about who the most valuable player is in the World Series. How this man has responded to pressure. Oh, what a beam on his face. How can you blame him? He's answered the whole world.
Reggie Jackson's last at-bat, probably in the 1977 series.
What a colossal blow.
And that was a monster in itself. 475 feet, probably. Look at that. Look at Torres. You don't think they know it? Feel it in there?
What are they all thinking now? After all the furor, after all the hassling, it came down to this, a whole long season. Out comes Reggie.
Postscript, Yankees won for their 21st World Champion, and Reggie Jackson submitting himself as Mr. October. And finally, it was 42 years ago today, October 18th, 1979, that the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, began allowing people in their private homes to actually have satellite earth stations, C-band. You remember C-band? You used to, before this date of 1979, you were required to get a license from the FCC to have a C-band dish at home to pick up whatever was floating around up there on satellites. And the FCC said, nah, you don't need a license anymore. I had a C-band dish. It's amazing the stuff that you found. Back in the mid-90s, I had a C-band dish at my house. You would get all these unedited things that were floating around up there. Monday Night Football without the commercials. The Tonight Show without the commercials and all the stuff that you weren't supposed to see on TV. C-bands, which for a while there were everywhere. Now they've been replaced by, well, other things. C-bands, you remember them? They used to be everywhere back in the day. 33 minutes after the hour, we have a rather eclectic group of celebrity birthdays. Charles Edward Anderson Berry, Chuck Berry, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, one of the inaugural class of 1986, the great Chuck Berry. He's gone, but the music lives on. I love the music of Chuck Berry. It's all good. Perhaps the grandfather of rock and roll, whatever you want to put it. Chuck Berry is a legend. We miss him. Chuck Berry, who passed away 4 years ago at the age of 90, born in this state in 1926. Rock on, Chuck. George C. Scott, who famously turned down the Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in Patton in 1970. George C. Scott, the legendary American actor, born in the state in 1927, died in 1999 at the age of 71. Oh, let me tell you about Keith Jackson. If Keith Jackson was there calling a college football game, it was a big college football game. He became known as Mr. College Football. Saturday afternoons, Keith Jackson calling the game. Of course, he graduated from Washington State University, got his start in broadcasting at KOMO. He was the sports director at KOMO Television in Seattle, called Husky football games. Back in the 50s, it would eventually go to ABC, where he spent his career. The legendary Keith Jackson, born in Georgia in the state of 1929. We lost Keith 3 years ago at the age of 89. Forrest Gregg, we had Forrest Gregg there briefly. There he is. Forrest Gregg, born in the state in 1933. He died in 2019 at the age of 85. Vince Lombardi called Forrest Gregg the greatest football player he ever coached. And Forrest Gregg would go on to be a pretty successful football coach himself. And finally, we lost Don Wells back in December. Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island. Don Wells was born in the state in 19 38. She was Miss Nevada. She graduated from the University of Washington. Will always be known as Mary Ann on Gilligan's Island when she passed away last December. The last surviving cast member is Tina Louise, who played Ginger. 35 minutes after the hour. We have an opinion from Mike Mad Dog Mignotti, and then it's off to Ohme Gardens we go. We got a great conversation with Jason Browning. He's the director of Ohme Gardens. He's going to talk about what a great year Ohme Gardens had, and they did have a great year. And also their Make a Difference Day project is coming up on Saturday for Make a Difference Day. Jason will tell you what Ohme has planned for that, and you can help out. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
You're in Ford Country, land of Pat Armstrong, Ford Lincoln, home of the lifetime warranty. That'll sure get you thinking.
Get ready for fall and winter with a new or used truck or SUV from North Central Washington's four-wheel drive headquarters, Pat Armstrong Ford Lincoln on 3rd Street in East Wenatchee.
Land of Pat Armstrong, Ford Lincoln, you're in Ford Country.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza. Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Counterplay inside, picking his way back to the 10, to the 5, into the... High school sports is back, and NCW Life Channel's got you covered. Tune in for football, girls soccer, and volleyball right here. A huge thank you to our sponsors, Les Schwab Tires, One Way Construction, and Save Mart. Follow all the action of high school sports on your local TV station, the NCW Life Channel. 14, they come back.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I would like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Are you frustrated because you feel like you aren't getting the internet speeds you pay for? One of the most common ways to test your internet connection is called a speed test. These are free and easily located on the internet and can tell you how fast your internet is. However, for certain reasons, these tests may not always be accurate. A speed test shows you how fast a file can be downloaded to the computer you're running the test on. However, there are many things that can affect the speed of that download besides the speed of the internet going into your home. A few of the things that can affect your internet speed are poor Wi-Fi signal, other wireless signals interfering with the wireless signals coming from your router, other devices in your home draining your bandwidth, your computer or phone running apps programs in the background that you aren't aware of, slowing your entire device. Any of these things can slow down your internet. Your internet is like water flowing down a pipe. There's a big pipe bringing internet to your local area, and a smaller pipe coming off of that bringing internet to your home address. Your router is just another pipe that brings the internet inside your house, and every device inside your home is like a pipe connected to the router. Just like with water, if any of those pipes along the way are too small for the amount of internet that needs to flow through for a family, the flow for everything down the line will be much slower. It's a lot like trying to push all the water going into your house through a small straw. Also, again, just like with water, if everyone in your home is using the internet at once, any individual device may not be able to receive the full flow of the internet. It's like your whole family trying to drink out of that small straw all at once. If you're struggling with internet that is slower than expected, make sure that all of the devices that your internet flows through are working correctly, and check all devices in your home for background programs that may be using the internet. If everything still appears to be working correctly, contact us and we'll be able to help.
Hi, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, one of the things I miss about the East Coast is that here in Wenatchee, we have a very small Jewish population. Now, Having a larger number of God's chosen people here locally would add some culture and culinary enhancements to our community, as well as increase our level of intriguing diversity. You know, if you're interested in learning more about Jewish culture, a great book to read is The Joys of Yiddish by Leo Rosten. This book is very entertaining. It's easy to read, both humorous and poignant. And you can get a good copy on Amazon for $5 to $10. Besides, winter is coming, and what else is better to do than stay inside, keeping warm, and enjoying a good book? Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
At Wenatchee Power Sports, we proudly offer the Polaris product line. Polaris builds the highest quality side-by-side in the industry, with off-road capability that's second to none. The Polaris pre-order program allows customers to purchase the vehicle they want without having to select from limited dealer inventory. The Wenatchee Valley has year-round access to some of the best ORV trails in the Northwest. Start your adventure here at Wenatchee Power Sports.
You know, I have different people in the community come up and tell me that they've seen our commercial. I took my family up to Yodelin up in Leavenworth, and we walk in, and it's a Monday night, so Monday Night Football is playing, and all of a sudden, our commercial starts airing. And my kids couldn't believe it. They're like, Dad, you are on Monday Night Football. This is unbelievable. You know, we know somebody famous. Like, my respect level just went way up in my kids' eyes.
We have, over the last year, realized how important Apple Blossom is, how important those Friday football games are, and being a part of that community and being able to support those activities happening is very important to us.
One of our real passions as a business is to serve our community well, and at the same time promote our brand. And I feel like NCW Life allows you to do that with some of the different opportunities that they give you. There's ways to help us build community while at the same time promoting your brand.
I'm here at the Discovery Center at Rocky Reach Dam, where there's a ton of cool stuff to do. You can learn how the dam harnesses the power of the Columbia, walk inside a Native American Thule Lodge, and steer clear of disaster on the Rock Island Rapids. You can check out the new fish viewing space and even stare a salmon right in the eye. Explore all this and more at Chelan County PUD's brand new Discovery Center at Rocky Reach Dam, now open year-round.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Yes, it's me. It's my husband. I think there's something the matter with him.
It was a feeling that I'll never forget, like being able to meet them and know that he survived.
Okay, tell me what's happening. Is he conscious?
No, he's not. He's not.
Okay, take a deep breath for me. I'm getting you help.
Rivercom means to me that I still have my husband here with me. They're the ones that guided me through saving his life.
Wake Up Wenatchee Valley is back. Dan Kuntz alongside with Jason Browning. We're up here at one of the crown jewels of North Central Washington, Ohme Gardens, who's had, according to Jason, a banner year. 2021 was perhaps the best year revenue-wise, visitor-wise, aesthetic-wise that Ohme has ever had.
Sure, yeah, we barely had to advertise. People just showed up.
How do you account for that? Just a COVID bump because they couldn't come last year?
Yeah, so in May we saw a really big bump. We were almost double what our average is for May, and then that calmed down through the summer, but it definitely stayed high. So we just, you know, and I think you can see that PUD Parks had a bump in their visitors and other recreation places around the valley. So I think we're just part of that as well. Yeah.
Records only go back to 1995, but Jason was telling me this is the busiest year you've had since they started keeping track of how many people have actually come through the gates.
Yeah, it is. So, yeah, my spreadsheet stops at 1995, and we're not quite to that level. I think we're a few hundred less than what we did in 1995, but I mean, that's 25 years ago.
And you account for that for just people needing to get out of their houses after being locked down and quarantined?
Right. Well, I think that we're thought of a little bit more, especially for the families that aren't big into hiking necessarily the local trails where there's, you know, a big pole to go out and hike Saddle Rock and stuff. We're a little bit more of a moderate day, quick hour hike. So some of the families that aren't into doing the big long day trips or even overnight trips, they can come up to Ohme Gardens and enjoy nature close to civilization. So
it's funny. I visited here with Jason back in May, when you had a record year, just an explosion of people up here in May. And I ran into a lovely couple coming up with their grandkids, and they had been here they lived in the Wenatchee Valley for 20 years, had never been to Ohme Gardens, but they took the grandkid who was about 7 years old, and they came up here and they had a ball. And they were going, why did we wait so long to come to Ohme Gardens and enjoy this place?
Yeah, sure. So the way that I account for that is really no one likes to go to the touristy spots where they live. So Ohme Gardens is often seen as sort of a tourist destination for the valley, and so that's a common thing we hear is, oh, I haven't been here in 20 years, or I've never been here. We're getting less and less of that, and that's really cool. But yeah, it just seems like, you know, we're sort of branded as tourism, and so sometimes the locals don't quite want to come and do that. Although this year, the support in our memberships, we tripled what our annual membership sales were this year, and it's just been amazing. It really helps us revenue-wise. It goes right back into the gardens, maintenance, tree work, new plants, restoration, all of that.
And I don't know how many weddings you did this year, but I mean, God has blessed this place anyway with his pure natural beauty, but you had a lot of weddings here, bud.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a popular destination wedding too, not just for locals, but we get people coming up. We've got a wedding I just booked out of LA that they're coming up. They've never even seen it other than photos. And so, yeah, we're just such a beautiful spot, and to be able to get married here. And it's also a long tradition too. We've been doing weddings here on the entrance lawn since 1940. So not only is it a beautiful place, but it's also part of history.
Aesthetically, how did the park do? I mean, we had that incredibly brutal heat wave in late June and early July. How did your native plants and the stuff that you brought in weather the heat back in June and July? Did you do okay?
Yeah, so that's the beauty of kind of what the Ohme family did here, is that they built it to be a drought-tolerant place. So we do put a ton of water down, but a lot of the thyme, the phlox, a lot of the stuff that we put down here and replace and replenish every year is stuff that can go a few days without water or some extreme heat. The trees are a little bit different of a story. We took quite a hit this year. I think we've got you know, between 10 to 12 dead trees out in the garden that are going to have to get removed.
And we'll talk about that when we take a break. We're going to talk about his Make a Difference Day project on Saturday the 23rd. But before we do that, one of the things that makes this place such a draw is it's so very well maintained. You have one of the best staffs out here. These people working here is a labor of love for your people, isn't it?
Sure, yeah. And what I like to call it is unnaturally natural. Right, so if you look at the surrounding area, you see all the shrub steppe and the sagebrush, and so it's not naturally here. But the way that we sort of maintain it and take care of the park is we want it to look like it's a natural setting. So if you could go up into the alpine wilderness, you might walk through something that looks very similar. It's just in a place where it shouldn't be. Yeah.
Exactly. And one more thing before we take a quick break. With Jason, and we're going to talk about his Make a Difference Day project. One last thing I wanted to touch on is again, Ohme Gardens is stunningly beautiful. This was not, if you look back at the pictures of when this place was put in, this doesn't look anything like it did when the Ohmes planted it all those years ago.
No, it doesn't. And Mike Short, the previous director, put together this beautiful book that we sell. It's $10, so if people are interested in it, it's got all the history, and really the coolest part is the photos. You go back and go, no, that's not the same place. And so now we have, you know, these 150-foot dug firs here that just shouldn't belong. It's pretty amazing, the transformation through the 30s, and then really ramped up with Gordon in the 70s and the 80s. This place just took off, yeah.
What's it like coming to work here every day? I mean, you're here, but I mean, this has got to be one of the great jobs.
Sure, yeah, and it's you know, in my previous job, I had a lot of complaints. I don't know if I've ever had one here. So that is food for the soul.
You clearly love your job. I mean, that kind of radiates through the camera. Jason and I are going to take a quick break, and then we're going to take a quick little hike down, and we're going to show folks what Jason has planned on Saturday the 23rd, and you're more than happy to help out some of the trees that didn't quite weather so good in the heat in June and July, or got to be 86. They got to get out of here because they're dead. We'll talk about that when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hello, North Central Washington. I'm Dave Tosh, Executive Director, Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, and I'm excited to announce a new variety show entitled Vibrant Living, brought to you by the Senior Center. And I think you'll find it educational, informative, and a lot of fun. Join us for the new program, Vibrant Living.
When I was about 16, I got in a relationship. He hit me for the first time in front of his daughter. He physically abused me in front of my children. I couldn't do it no more. Sage was there for me when I needed them. I didn't hear a lecture from them. I didn't hear anything but just acceptance. And that's what I needed at the time. And they help you with everything that you need to move on in life and heal.
Opioids are now one of the leading causes of injury-related deaths in Washington state. More people die from overdose than from car crashes. Between 2012 and 2016, more than 3,300 lives in Washington were lost to opioid overdose. We are all part of the solution. Your choices matter. If you are prescribed an opioid pain medication, talk with your doctor about other options, and don't share your prescriptions with other people. It starts with you. Learn more at getthefaxrx.com.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We've hiked down the hill a little bit here at Ohme Gardens. Again, we're here with Jason Browning to talk about his Make a Difference Day project on the 23rd. I guess the first question I have for you, Jason, how do you determine what trees are healthy and stay in and what trees didn't go so well and they need to be 86? How is that decision made?
Sure. So, well, if it's red, it's dead. So okay. that's the first part. It's really obvious, especially when it's juxtaposed against all the other green that we have around here. So pretty much if it's failing or looks like it's going to fail in the next couple of years, we'll take it down. Everything else, though, that we take out, if we do take out any green stuff, kind of like some of these trees that are right here in front of us, they're going to be beneficial to be out because they're going to bring some more sunshine into the areas that don't typically see sunshine. And it's the really shady areas that sort of fester and breed some of the plants that we don't want. Himalayan blackberry, some of the Virginia creeper, things that we typically would try to get out. So as we were talking about earlier, the Ohmes did a really good job getting sort of drought-tolerant plants. So cutting these trees down aren't actually going to have any effect. They're actually going to help some of the plants that we do want around here.
And there's also plenty, you can't tell because it's covered in limbs and trees and logs, but there's lots of undergrowth that actually stabilizes the slope. So some of these slopes are pretty steep, but they're not going anywhere because there's good native plants that are gripping to the soil and keeping it stable.
Right. Yeah, we have a huge amount of ground cover around here that kind of keeps things from running off, especially when we do put water down at night. It kind of keeps everything tied in together. Yeah.
As you well know, trees, when they get sick, they do everything they can to keep themselves alive. Basically, they pour all of their energy into keeping themselves alive. But at a certain point, most trees, when they're dead, have actually been dying for a couple of years, and just something kind of just finally tipped the scale, correct, pretty much?
Right, yeah, so part of that's probably heat. What I would say is that we typically have a couple of trees go every year just because it's nature and that stuff happens. But this year we had 10 to 12 that died. That's probably triple what we normally see. And I think it totally is, you can attribute it totally to the heat that we had end of June, beginning of July. That's really when we started to see stuff red. We can pour, 150 gallons of water a minute on this garden, and it doesn't help when it's 115.
The Make a Difference Day project on the 23rd, we're here. That's what you're doing. What can we do to help you on Saturday the 23rd to expedite this tree removal project?
Well, show up with gloves and good shoes and help us haul it up the hill. So we have limited staff here, especially during the off season when we're not open. So it's really limited to just a couple of folks that normally do this. So when we get a handful of people together, this can come out in a couple hours instead of a couple days.
And it might be fascinating to see some of the professional tree droppers. You're going to have to bring in some arborists for a couple of trees.
That's right.
Because of where they're physically located at. It's just dangerous for regular folk like you and me to do it. So you're going to bring in some pros to take some of these trees out too.
Yeah, so we've had them come out and give us a couple of quotes. So we're just working through which trees are a priority and which aren't. And then as soon as we've got that, we'll get them on the schedule and they'll be out here.
So dress warmly, good pair of boots, good pair of gloves, a good strong back, and a good attitude, and you can be a part of the Ohme Gardens family on Saturday.
Yeah, sure. And we have also other stuff that we're doing as well. Some of our ferns that need to be deadheaded before the winter, and some of the other, trail work, weed pulling, that kind of stuff. So if you're not up for the tree work, we can find something for you.
Make a difference day on Saturday the 23rd. Help Ohme Gardens get ready for the winter. I guess that's my last question for you, Jason. What happens now that the Ohme Gardens is closed to the public? What happens in the off season for you? How do you folks keep busy and make sure that the gardens opens correctly come spring of 2022?
Sure. So we'll do tree work mostly through the season, but during the winter season we do a lot of the planning for all the events that we have. So we'll also book weddings and private events. So if people are interested in that, they can get a hold of us on our email. Or through the website, ohmegardens.org. And so we'll just be kind of answering questions, giving site tours, doing some basic work when the weather's right, and then holding on tight for spring.
And a great photo of Jason and his family right there on the homepage.
Right,
I like that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, boy, you got lucky. How did that happen?
Well, I don't know.
Obviously,
God bless me.
Obviously, she doesn't have very good eyesight. That's about the only thing.
She doesn't. That's true. You got that right.
Jason Brownie from Ohme Gardens for Make a Difference Day. Thanks for sharing your project with us, and congratulations on a banner year. And I hope 2022 is as good, as not better, of the year you just had.
Sure. Thanks, Dan.
I appreciate it. Watch Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Dr. Wayne Latimer's Chiropractic and Integrative Multicare specializes in all level of injury care. If you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, have a sports injury, or a simple fall, call today for a free consultation. They offer a combined multi-care approach with medical, chiropractic, physical therapy, massage, and acupuncture. For relief from long-standing injuries to basic solutions for the weekend warrior, Latimer's Chiropractic Integrative Multicare is one stop, one location.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
In a world afraid of technology, one man, one show will bring you the newest innovations that may just change your life. This summer, Ray McNeil and your Weekly Tech Update is your Weekly Tech Update with Ray McNeil.
What's the best way to attract a wide variety of beautiful birds to your backyard? By offering the birds the right foods in expertly designed bird feeders from Wild Birds Unlimited. Whether you've been feeding the birds for a while or are just getting started, let our backyard bird feeding specialists show you how to add a little joy to your life and make nature a part of every day. Shop now for exclusive bird foods, feeders, hardware, and more. Wild Birds Unlimited. Products designed by experts. Trusted local advice.
The Clearwater Saloon and Casino is the perfect place to meet in East Wenatchee. The Old West theme takes you back in time with casino gambling and poker table. And now you can play the best games on or off the tables. Stop by and check out the new game room. All your favorite games and extended late night hours makes the Clearwater your best bet for a great time. And if time slips away having so much fun, stay the night next door at the Cedars Inn. It's all here nightly at the Clearwater Saloon and Casino in East Wenatchee.
Holding steady at 46 degrees here in downtown Wenatchee. Very beautiful day today, sunny and mild, and then a dramatic change starts happening Tuesday. Once more, here's a slide from the National Weather Service. Lots of sunshine today, lots of sunshine for the most part on Tuesday. Just a few passing clouds, and then wow, a major change starts happening Tuesday night. You're going to wake up Wednesday with lots of rain. We catch a little bit of a break on Thursday. Thursday night, more rain, and starting Thursday night and going all the way through Sunday and Monday, it's going to rain. And we're going to have some wind. There's just basically a parade of weather systems that has taken dead aim at the Pacific Northwest, and it's going to start arriving Tuesday night into Wednesday. So from the National Weather Service, here we go. Sunshine, gorgeous, 67 for our afternoon high, 42 for the overnight low. A little bit cooler tomorrow. with a high of 62 with a few passing clouds. Tuesday night, lots of clouds. Wednesday morning, you're going to wake up to rain. It's going to rain most of the morning on Wednesday. We catch a break on Thursday. Thursday night, more rain. Rain Thursday night all the way through until about 1 o'clock on Friday afternoon. And off and on rain right through the weekend. Extremely unsettled weather starts tomorrow night. That's it for us. Have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.